You know, I don't think that there's anything that I love more than a high reward trade. Essentially, you give up almost nothing, but you get a lot. Well, not necessarily a lot in return, but you get potentially a lot in return. I mean, not every trade will work out, obviously, just because you have, you believe that you're getting a player that can play in a high offensive output situation doesn't mean you're going to get him. But this move by the Vancouver Canucks is frankly an excellent one. It's really, really good. And it's funny, I talked about them targeting this player before, and it looks like it came through. Excellent stuff. We're going to be analyzing this trade in this video, but welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you can make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. It is very humbling. So today, the Vancouver Canucks have acquired Lukas Reichel, and he was a 17th overall draft pick. He kind of just fell out of favor with the Blackhawks. Apparently, the rumor was that he actually did also request a trade, and it also makes sense if you kind of see his time on ice. Like, his time on ice has gone down quite a bit, and honestly, he's only gotten about 9 minutes time on ice this year. So, of course, this is a player that is going to be looking for another opportunity, but again, great buy low candidate. This is a player that has an excellent American Hockey League numbers, 57 points in 56 games, 51 points in 55 games, around about a point per game consistently, but unfortunately he hasn't put it together in the National Hockey League yet. But here's the thing, when this guy gets on the ice, when he gets time on ice, he is a very, very offensively talented player. In 22-23, and I've talked about this before, he actually scored 15 points in 23 games. That's actually pretty good production. And he actually has 4 points in 5 games this year, and Vancouver could honestly use an offensive player like him. The Vancouver Canucks have scored 22 goals on the season, and if you look at the Pacific Division, they are second last. Well, they're tied with the Kings in terms of 22 goals. Nobody's going to take the mantle from the Calgary Flames, who have only scored 13 goals, which is just unbelievable for them. But again, Vancouver is a team that could use offense. They could use more players in their top 6. They need more depth at offense in general. Obviously, it would be better if this player could play center. Now, if we talk about holes in this player, we're going to be talking about defensively. He certainly isn't an elite defensive player by any means, and this is kind of why he fell out of favor in Chicago. So again, with this player, we are looking at a player where his skating is undeniable. He's really, really good at moving, and this will make the Vancouver Canucks a much faster team. And when you talk about creative offensive players, he's one. With having this player have success, you're going to need to put him with some decent defensive forwards, and you're going to have to put him in position to succeed. So you're going to have to, I think Reichel is the player that you're going to have to shelter. You're going to have to put him in position where, okay, he gets a lot of offensive zone starts. He plays with, players that can balance out the line. And this is going to be a player that it's going to take a little bit to find the right mix for him so that he can have success for the Vancouver Canucks. A lot of the reason that the Vancouver Canucks made this trade is because Nils Hoglander is out for a while, and actually I just made a rumor video where they're also interested in some other players, but this is the player that they all obviously ended up getting. Now, we already heard that Patrik Allvin also wants to get a centerman as well, which we don't really know what's going on with Filip. We know what's going on with Filip, but he's going to be out for a little while, so we will have to see. So I will make question of the video right now. Do you guys like this trade? I mean, they only gave up a 4th round pick. I actually really like this trade because they just didn't give up something. When you trade past a 3rd round pick, I'm fine with it. It's funny, if you actually look at the Chicago Blackhawks Twitter account when they announced the trade, there's not a lot of Blackhawk fans that are actually liking this because, again, I think that this is bad asset management by the Chicago Blackhawks, simply because if you wanted to trade this player, I would try to pump up his numbers a little bit, right? Like, I would try to pump up his numbers, make him have like a decent season, and then kind of go from there, right? I just don't look at this as the best management from their position. You know, it is also interesting. Well, Lukas Reichel has played a lot on the wing. He actually apparently does have the ability to play center, which is very, very complex. We have a very interesting quote that I found here. He has the versatility to play center, which is clearly Vancouver's greatest area of need with Filip Chytil and Teddy Bluger's continued absences. Bluger was shifted to injury reserve on Friday, clearing up a roster space for the Canucks to acquire Reichel, close quote. So yes, again, they did move around a couple of pieces to be able to acquire this player. I was wondering why they really actually made that move to free up a slot, but that's excellent stuff. There's another interesting quote that continues. Reichel has only won 41% of his draws over the past 3 seasons, though he has been used on the wing in Chicago this season, so he's more center capable than he is a full-time center long-term in Vancouver, close quote. Although I will say when we talk about Reichel playing center, that doesn't mean that he won't be able to, right? Like, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes some players, they just play better down the middle. It's hard to explain, but they just play better down the middle, right? You got a player that he just, it's kind of weird, like almost like Max Domi for the Leafs. He kind of struggles at wing sometimes, and he's not even that great defensively at all, but when you put him at center, he carries the puck more, and it helps his offensive ability. Reichel could be another player where he could carry the puck more being a center, and that could actually help his offensive ability. Like, here's the thing. This has the potential to be something that could either be completely boom or completely bust. And again, from my perspective, the Vancouver Canucks cannot afford to just throw this season away. My apologies. They really need to put their best foot forward, and they're dealing with some injuries right now. This is exactly what the Canucks don't need with Filip Chytil being out, because Filip Chytil is like a legitimately very useful, very quality player, but again, he has concussion issues. So this is a move that the Vancouver Canucks, they really didn't have a choice but to make this move. Because currently the Vancouver Canucks are 4-4-0 with 8 points, and they sit just below the Oilers in the Pacific Division. The season isn't done, and at the end of the day, I'm going to draw this back to Quinn Hughes, but they need to try to convince Quinn Hughes to stay. Now, maybe Lukas Reichel ain't going to do that, but again, he's going to be able to add more speed, more skill in the lineup. I'm going to be super interested as to where exactly they put him in the lineup. Do they get him to play center? What wingers do they get him to play with? You're going to have to be careful how to position this player in your lineup. You don't just want to, put him with any old player. You don't, he needs a balanced player with him, in my opinion. He needs like a big two-way kind of guy that has some offensive ability or something like that. But this is going to be very, very interesting stuff for the Canucks. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to cover this trade, of course. Really interesting stuff from the Canucks. We shall see how it turns out. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.